Good morning. Welcome to Tarot Time. And there's a lot that I want to cover today, a lot to be covered. I hope I can remember it all. But anyway, welcome. If you're watching this as a video, we'll get started in just a minute. Or if you're watching live, we'll get started in just a minute. But I like to give a moment for the live people to get their notifications. So what we do in Tarot Times, a variety of things. Of course, we do some work with the tarot to pick up on the energies and the trends in the coming week and beyond. We do a meditation card. I've got other divination tools. And lately we've been towards the end doing an energy transmission, calling on my guides, the master teachers, to work with us for our spiritual upgrades, our energetic upgrades, to increase our flows and to connect more with source. And today, because we have a huge hurricane in the Caribbean that's poised to hit Jamaica, I think what we'll do is we'll get together, do some prayer work, and see if we can energetically help steer that storm so it'll be the best possible outcome for probably what's going to be a Category 5 hurricane and probably the strongest event in Jamaica and that part of the Caribbean since they've been keeping weather records, basically. So that this would be the second historic weather-breaking hurricane that I predicted for this hurricane season, and the one that I saw getting stalled in the Gulf. So I was a little bit off location-wise and dumping huge amounts of rain. So that's what we have. There's a lot I want to talk about, but let me just say a few quick hellos. And who's here? Hello, Lindsay. Welcome. Hey, Doreen. Hello, Millie. Hello, Lindsay again. Hello, Karen. And Katie, welcome. And I know we're just getting on, but we've had a nice conversation without me. Hello, Kathleen and Patricia. And so far, that's all, I think, unless I'm missing you. Hello, Beverly. Hello, Jill. So, all right, Doreen. Well, if your grandson calls, then it is what it is, right? Thanks for being here now. And hello, horses. Karma, hello. Or yeah, I think I got your name right. All right, and good dawning. Yes, good dawning. Speaking of good dawning, where's Josh? Maybe he's working or sleeping. Anyway, so let's start to break this all down. What's going on? Where do we begin? Well, firstly, I don't know about you guys, but I've been definitely getting like feeling dizzy, lightheaded, a lot of energy. And that really started when the first mega flare fired off of the sun towards Venus and in the direction of 3i Atlas. Okay, hold on, I'm getting a dizzy spell now, as a matter of fact. Maybe there's another flare being launched. I don't know. I can't keep up with this, but 3i Atlas. Okay, so we've talked a lot about that on the channel. Super interesting. We haven't seen anything like it. According to what I've seen in the latest chronograph images, which isn't taking actual pictures of it, but rather getting data on it. I don't know if that's the right name for it, but that's what they use to gauge solar flares. Like they block out the sun, and then you can see the flares going off to the side. So they're able to get an image right after the superior conjunction with the sun from the Earth's perspective of 3i Atlas, or the conjunction behind the sun. They're able to get an image just to validate that it's on course. It's on its projected course. But it's very electromagnetical, if I'm getting this right. And I said some things in August, a couple of videos that I did based on remote viewing that have actually verified. So I do believe I've been at least partially, if not totally, getting the right information. But it's got this large, about half the diameter of the sun, dusty coma. At the time, I said that it would be larger and denser than what was believed. And right now, they believe the minimum size of it is 5 kilometers, which is big, not unheard of, but it's big. But it might be, even it's close to 50 kilometers. But anyway, what was I going to say? But it's got the coma is probably dusty plasma. Plasma is basically ionic. It's electrical, and it's and there's a certain electrical magnetic circuitry between the sun, the earth, and the inner solar system. And when you get an object like that traveling through, it disrupts it. Stefan Burns was equating it to short circuiting the entire system. And as I predicted, months ago, as it got into that position, it would fire off some really impressive flares and something toward it. I did a video back in August talking about how it was going to rip plasma from the sun. I mean, in reality, it's interacting with the sun and causing these flares. It's not literally ripping the plasma off the sun, but that happened, and it was a huge flare. It probably, they couldn't really measure, but it probably was a double-digit X-class flare. Maybe not a Carrington event like an X50 class, but probably like an X10, X15. We can't measure it, but it was huge. And then there were 3 others after it, all directed in that same direction. Now, so I don't know if you guys are feeling that also. And I'm going to get on to a few other things. And I'm going to talk to you guys and bring some of your comments on also. But I remember back on 10/10, 1984, where did I get that? 2024. Where we had the beautiful aurora show here in the Catskills. And I remember standing out by the Ashokan Reservoir freezing because it was windy and it was like 40 degrees and it was only early October, so really freezing. But every time there was a substorm where the colors intensified and they got brighter, I felt it going through my body, and I almost got nauseous one time. And that's when I realized that I'm really sensitive to these energetic discharges from the sun. And we're still in solar maximum, and based on what's happening with the interstellar object, that's enhancing solar activity, and we're seeing that. I mean, we can't prove it, but there's substantial evidence from this and other solar maximums to validate that. Now, that sunspot group, that when it was Earth facing, it fired off 20 some odd flares, nothing higher than a medium M class flare. So nothing big, but as soon as it got out of view and directed towards the object, a little bit angular, but somewhat directed, boom, that's when the big flares happen. Now that's going to rotate back. If it's still intact, that's going to be during a full moon. So that enhances with the moon behind the sun, the Earth from the sun's perspective, and then 3A Atlas still in that effective. It hits perihelion on the 29th, there's closest approach. So the full moon's what, November 5th, is it? I think. So it's right there. So anyway, we could get some very impressive flares here. Enough for me to say better safe than sorry, maybe have extra food and supplies, because God knows what would have happened if that flare had been Earth directed. What would have happened to the grid, to the electrical grid and the communications grid? We don't know. So it's good to be prepared. The magnetic field is weaker than it was during the big Halloween event in 2003. That I think was like an X18 or something like that. Made the brightest. Those was like those northern lights were brighter than the moon. It almost looked like there were aliens landing. It was that bright. So anyway, the field around the Earth is weaker now. So who knows what that would have done. But to put things into perspective, the magnetic field around the Earth is still okay. It's been weakening over the last 2,000 years, but we're not a critical mass or anything. Nothing to freak out about, but it's good to be prepared. So that's one thing. Now, what else is going on? A lot with geopolitics, of course. There's a lot of planetary aspects this week. I don't remember all of them, but different planets trining and squaring each other. Then we have, of course, Samhain and Halloween. We're now in the approach to Mercury retrograde. So if in the last couple of days you've been noticing more glitches, we can always blame Mercury or sunspot, whatever you want to blame, but that's going on. I know there's other things I wanted to talk about, but that's kind of the main show. So we're going to get into some tarot in a minute. Let me just see what you guys are saying. So hello, Lindsay. So what are you saying? You hear that Argentum? Argentum? Oh, that's somebody who's commenting. All right, I say, what does that mean? And then, hi, Jill. So what are you saying? The pulling of the sun, power, the solar flares, they need to be more responsible. It could be the reason that Melissa Hurricane is increasing. I think they were smart. They should send. I agree with that. I because with it's extra energy, right? And we're actually technically we should be like we're in solar maximum, right? But we should be rounding off of that peak right now, because I've seen it wasn't on Stephen Burns' channel, it's one of the other ones that I watched, but they showed evidence that the solar poles have already flipped just recently, like within the last 2 or 3 months or so. And that's usually when the descending phase begins. Now, the descending phase can also have impressive flares, like in 2017, when there was a much smaller interstellar object known as Oumuamua. I don't know why they didn't give a 3-eye atlas a name. You have 1-eye atlas was Oumuamua, 2 was what was it called, Barisov or Barakov, but they didn't give this one a name. And this is the largest one by far, probably the most impactful one. But Oumuamua was much closer to the sun. It was inside the orbit of Mercury, so smaller. There's really virtually no coma. So we have a whole different animal, like a much stronger and larger object, but it's about 3 to 4 times farther from the sun. So we don't know exactly what's going to happen, but we're seeing evidence that it's doing things. So in 2017, Oumuamua was right in that position. The 2 of the largest flares of that whole solar cycle, 2 years after the solar maximum happened, and the largest earthquake that year, I think it was an 8.0 in Mexico, happened right before the perihelion of Oumuamua. So it's right there. So yeah, to answer to get to what you're saying, yeah, I believe that you're right, and it's adding energy to the system. It's affecting the atmosphere. During the Carrington event, people actually were getting shocked. That's how powerful they were getting shocked. The whole the only electronic communication there was the telegraph system that all shut down. There was auroras all the way down to Cuba in that event. So anyway, so hi, Suzette. Yeah, happy birthday to your daughter's friend. Yeah. So yeah, it's probably if it's affecting the atmosphere. Sure, I'm sure it's feeding the storm and feeding geological events. It's been relatively quiet week in geology after a lot of activity the week before. I mean, every day there's going to be earthquakes on planet Earth, and virtually every day there's going to be at least one of 5 magnitude or higher. That's normal. Now we have to watch, and I'll be on Wednesday. We're going to do a live stream with the November forecast. People around Italy got to watch Campi Flegrei and Etna in Sicily, right? Because there's a lot of activity going on in those areas. I don't think we're going to get that super eruption, but we could get sizable eruptions in November around Campi Flegrei. Campi Flegrei? Hopefully I'm pronouncing it right. Campi Flegrei? Campi Flegrei. I think that's how you pronounce it. So I mean, and they measure the magma flow by the like sub earthquakes and low level earthquakes. Like they've been having a lot of 1s and 2s and a couple of 3s in that area, and seeing things venting. So and anyway, it's just we're adding energy to the system. It's all part of ascension. Now there's a lot of conjecture what this object really is. I mean, it's so far it's showing signs of being an interstellar object, as science says, but it's also showing signs of having some level of consciousness and purpose, like some of the more New Earth thinkers are saying also, and some, and including I forgot his name, but including a Harvard professor that's very prominent, saying there's a 30 to 40% chance that it's something extraterrestrial, which is coming from a Harvard professor. That's a heavy statement. And it just shows that it's an unknown. Until we know, we don't know. But there's something conscious about it. That's what I got when I did the first remote viewing. It felt very powerful. It was alive, not necessarily alive like we are. And of course, everything's alive because everything has consciousness and energy. But I think it kind of magnifies that universal consciousness and intelligence. So it may have an interdimensional or even an extraterrestrial component, but whatever it is, it's part of the earth changes. And we're in that time now. So what else are you guys saying here? What about Mama Gaia? I allow so much big cleansing. Yeah, we're in a big purge. Yes. Is Glenn Klausner in? Hey, Glenn, welcome. I just saw your text. I'll get to you later today with that. Thank you, though. Love quakes, yes. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna at the end we do a little transmission work and energy work. So we're gonna really work with the atmosphere of the earth to try to help the people in the Caribbean, particularly Jamaica, Hispaniola. Eastern Cuba is likely to get impacted. Maybe the Bahamas also, but especially Jamaica right now. And thanks, Jill, for your comments. We are multiple dimensions. Thank you. Yeah. So they had this happen in their timeline, I think, and they're sending part of. That's an interesting theory, which I believe has merit. Thank you. And what did we say? Panspermic object. Panspermic. Cool. Yeah, cool. Hello, Lakeside. And what else are you guys saying? Hello, Coyote Moon. Yolanda, hi. All right. I know there's other stuff that I wanted to say, but it said if you there's a lot of reasons why you may be feeling a little bit dizzy or sleep patterned. It's like if I didn't, I'll put it this way: if I didn't just have my annual and everything came out really good, like there's no reason that I should feel so much dizziness. But other than the fact it really started when that first mega flare erupted on the far side of the sun, right at Venus. Imagine being on planet Venus now. Well, you wouldn't survive more than an eighth of a second on planet Venus between the crushing pressure, the temperature. It's the hottest place in the solar system is Venus, not Mercury, Venus. Interesting. Mercury is one of the hottest and also one of the coldest planets. I love studying the planets in space. I'm a meteorologist by trade. That's what my degree is in. Meteorologist turned medium, but I love all the stuff. So you've been and I've been feeling aching sleep. Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah, I haven't seen that video yet. I that's on my to-do list today to watch that video because I've been following his stuff. He's so brilliant and spiritual. Yeah, we have 4 other comets in the inner solar system, and maybe tonight I'll get out and see if I can see which one could you not Swan, the other one, not R2 Swan. I forgot the name of the other one. But it may be visible to the naked eye. You got to, after sunset, when it first gets dark, you have to look to the north, a little bit north of west, and you might be able to see it. So all these things, they affect the electrical circuitry. So one of the reasons I like Stefan Burns, I only discovered him a few months ago, but when I started watching, it's like, yeah, this is what I believe too. But I don't have his science back. I mean, I'm a meteorologist, so I have that background, and I studied some geology, but this is also, you have to remember, it's in the 1970s. So when I went to college and studying this stuff, it was they didn't know nearly what they do now. So he's educating me a little bit more on space weather and geology. And I like watching Earth, what's it called? What's it called? Space Weather News. What's that guy's name? Benjamin. He's got a little bit of a take on things, but he's pretty brilliant also. So it's interesting to watch the different ones about this. So hello, Nancy. It is. What do you say? Is it bad to have a birthday during this time? Mine is November 4th. No, it's not bad to have a birthday on November 4th. That's a good time. You'll be right around the full moon this year, a day before the full moon, and in the Mercury station. That's another thing. So right around the 5th to the 8th of November, right around that time, full moon, 3i Atlas still very close to the sun and still affecting the Earth. It's going to be for a while. What else? There's a full moon that enhances the energies, right? We know that it enhances the electromagnetic fields. Mercury station. So Mercury is in the inner solar system. So Mercury is part of the sun's electromagnetic circuitry. So it's stationary, meaning that it's not moving a lot. So it's really staying in that one spot. So we have all these different factors that are pointing to one thing: big solar activity, big Earth events, and it affects consciousness. That's the other unknown, that we're electromagnetic beings also. The heart's more magnetic, the brain's more electrical. So it's affecting our energetic field, our auric fields. So if you're feeling tired, out of it, different, all that stuff, the idea is you want to do more of your spiritual work, do more meditation, do more cleansing, take better care of your body, because we're hypersensitive to everything. I've been getting a lot of hives on and off, skin eruptions. I mean, I need to do a big cleanse, I have a feeling also. So we've got to take really, really good care of ourselves. After all, we're part of the group of forerunners to the big global awakening, or the mass awakening. We got to take care of ourselves. There's a responsibility to ourselves and others. So that's what I have to say. So what else are you guys saying? Then we're going to dive into some tarot, because it's 20 after already, or 25 after. It's just a lot to talk about. So that's why we haven't gotten into any tarot yet. Yet if you're born after 1770 and you do your birth chart, you may have to put in the universal time, the sun time. Some apps don't convert your birth chart, so you have to. Oh, that's too bad. And Kathleen's having hyper energies. It has to. If I were in a classroom, I'd be in fun time out. Yeah, some people are getting very energized, and not Doreen, Yolanda. I apologize for being unable to be part of the chat today. Yeah, me too. I have to be part of the chat though, but I'm feeling very dizzy. No headache though, thank goodness. I'm sorry you've been having migraines. Yeah, it's the energies are just really, really intense now, and if we have if we're having these kind of issues already, it's going to get more intense. So let's do some tarot. There's so much, like I said, there's just a lot to talk about. I haven't even gone to the half of it. I mean, what's going on in the world of politics, geopolitics, war and peace, all that stuff. It's all being affected, but with these higher energies, it's changing the trajectories also. So hopefully for the better, but there may be something that needs to crash before it gets better. I think that Donald Trump's going to have a very rough November, and I'll outline that in the November psychic forecast, not based on astrology or anything, just based on feeling more than anything, amongst other things going on. But I'll outline all that in a different live stream. So let me do a meditation card. So what does Spirit think we should be focusing in our tarot meditations this week? Well, this is interesting. 5 of Wands or 5 of Rods. Um, yeah, grounding is really important, Millie, right? Oh, the chickens are digging, Lindsay. Wow. Um, yeah, so yeah, do a lot of grounding, a lot of earthing, grounding, meditation, where you just plant your roots deep in the earth, draw from Mother Earth, because she's here to keep us grounded and supported while our energy fields and everything in our reality is shifting to a higher level. So it's really higher energies and a higher level. And our physical bodies, our nervous system, our cells, and all that stuff, it responds to the new energies, and it takes time for them to adjust. And we have physiological, psychological, and emotional reactions to that. So the idea of meditating with tarot, you get very relaxed, like any other meditation. Relax your mind. I need water. Relax your breathing. Relax your shoulders, chin, and cheeks, and forehead. That's the little hack that we use to go into a meditative state very quickly. You don't have to you spend hours relaxing your whole body. Just take a couple of deep cleansing breaths, feel shoulders, chin, and cheeks, and forehead. Then just feel the rest of the body's just gonna give in to relaxation. If you can relax those three. Now, every time I go into meditation, I get such a body rush. I swear, it's taking me time to learn to keep my body relaxed. I think that's what Joe Dispenza described when he enters into the quantum field. He sort of tried to describe that feeling of like traveling through the eye of the needle, he calls it. So I think I'm really experiencing that now, and of course with these heightened frequencies, it's more intense and it's easier and harder at the same time. But just being able to ground and just relax, and then you're not resisting the change, because our subconscious wants to resist change. So if there's new energies that are changing our bodies, our subconscious mind is really fighting us with that. And that's where the lion's share of our symptoms come from. I mean, just the higher frequencies alone are going to affect our brain, affect our energy fields, and affect how we're feeling. But then we have that resistance. That's just a human survival instinct. So it takes time and practice to override it. That's one of the reasons I do cold showers. When I get into that cold shower, no, I don't start it up warm and gradually make it cold. No, I go right into the cold. And my discipline is that I'm trying to train my body, like Wim Hof teaches, to not tense up when the cold hits, but rather to stay in my breathing, to stay relaxed, to observe my body being affected by the cold. And it's the time of the year where the cold showers are starting to get cold. It's not numbing my skin. That starts to happen in November, but it's cold, especially not first thing in the morning, after my morning meditation. So anyway, back to the cards. So again, nice and relaxed. Be aware of your breath. So you're relaxed. Gauge what you're feeling. Step into the card in your mind. It's the Five of Wands. You can get your own tarot deck and pull your own Five of Wands or Five of Rods. Step in, and as soon as you step in, what do you feel? Don't try to intellectualize it. Just set the intention to be aware of what you feel when you step in, because it's a different energy. It's a different reality you're stepping into. And this will speak to where things are at odds, because in the figure, the meaning of the card could be competitiveness, right? There's a bunch of people hitting each other over the head with clubs. I mean, that's a pretty distinct imagery there, right? So it's like, where is that energy? Is that an internal thing that you're working through? Is that in your life? But when you go into the card, that would be an intention to try to um, uh, work through some of that chaos, or that competitive, or whatever you want to call it, competitive energies. Uh, Thank you, Lucretia. A lot of energy, very easy. Wim Hof. Yeah, I love Wim Hof too. Yeah. So anyway, so that's the idea. And these may be your guides, but it's perhaps saying that we're in a period where there's a lot of, well, we know there's a lot of stress and chaos in the world, and maybe that's part of what we're feeling. And with enhanced energy, it can enhance the chaos. It just needs to reach a certain level until enough people get it, and then things will change. So anyhow, let's do a 3-card spread. Um, so hi, Laura. I think with all this energy blasted our way, any malady we've had is coming up again for a bit. Yeah, I'm experiencing that too. Because I used to have yeah, severe chronic eczema to the point where it was deemed the worst case that the seen by the chief dermatologist at NYU Hospital back in the 90s. Um, and through mind over matter and various techniques, it went away for about 6 or 7 years. Now I've been getting periodic hives lately, which according to my dermatologist, it's not eczema, but you know what? It's flaring, itchy skin. It's inflammation of the skin. It's like, to me, it's the same thing, different form. But anyway, but I think you're right, Laura, with what you're saying. That it's just, things, deep. Maybe it's deeper things that are coming up. Because I know I've been doing, new things have been emerging. My shadow integration work, and James says he will be having his breathwork class for the full moon. I don't know. So that I'm not sure who James is, but that sounds good. All right, 11:33, and that means, because there's more I want to get to. That means let's do our 3-card spread. See what we can pick up for the week ahead. So what do we have going on? We have Halloween silence, so the veils are very thin, and we're getting more connected with the spirit world. So the veils are thin. Mercury's slowing down. 3i Atlas is doing its thing, transmitting and receiving information from the Earth, the Sun, and the solar system, and exciting the fields and leading to more geological, atmospheric events and geopolitical tensions, rising. So that's going to be part of it. So I think part of the message is to stay in the heart, try to keep that level of spiritual protection of our own heart around us, so that we are in this bubble of love, and then we can transmit love wherever we go rather than absorb the stress and tension of the world around us. So between that, lots of planetary aspects this week. And there's other things that I'm just not remembering right now, but there's other things that are bringing the energies up. Last week we did tarot time. We forecasted a relatively quiet week. I mean, yeah, things happened. I mean, the key word here being relative, but if you take that into account, it was fairly quiet. I mean, inflation's reached record highs. The economy kind of is balanced out after a mini crash, I'll call it, after new tariffs on China were announced. I think it was only a 2-day slide, and I think things recovered nicely. Silver went down after it was like, yeah, we've hit 50 for the first time in 30 years. It went down again, but some people believe there's some manipulation of the silver market behind that. What else is going on? I don't think that ceasefire is really holding. With all this powerful energy, it almost feels like the aggression has to happen before we can get to that place of peace. But hopefully we'll get there before it escalates. And we can vibrate peace, so we can help. We're not powerless. And if millions of us got together and did that, guess what? Things would change. So tens of thousands of us, that might move the needle a little bit, and sometimes a little bit is all you need. So we're not powerless. And then Halloween silent season. So there's a lot going on now. So with that 5 of wands for our meditation card, again, that would show a lot of energy. 5 is very energetic. Numerology, wands is fire, so that's very energetic also. So So anyways, clearing mind. All right, we found our card. Let's see. I like if I can remember the order that I got. Yeah, we've been getting a lot of knights lately, so a lot of movement here. Now the Six of Cups, even reverse, is a nice energy. Six is Venus. It's luxury. It's Cups is more emotional. It's more about love, about intuition. This Knight of Swords is interesting. What does this make me feel like with the? Well, this showed me a lot of wind. I think this is representing, amongst other things, Hurricane Melissa. Yeah, it's going to dump huge biblical amounts of rain, basically. And Jamaica's got a peak towards the eastern part of the island of over 7,000 feet. So when moist air gets lifted by mountains, it wrings out all that moisture. So we're going to do some prayers for that. But this could also represent things like aggression, but it could also represent good ideas, good inventions, and stuff like that. It's not going to be a quiet week, not like last week. And Knights move, Knights, cause changes. Now, the Knight of Cups reversed, that could be also about letting things go a little bit. I have a feeling that something's going to come up from a legal perspective that may change one of the laws or one of the proposals from probably the U.S. government. But, as I'm saying that, they're talking about England, and I'm not keeping up so much with the news. I don't know if anybody knows anything that might be going on with Starmer or the British Parliament in general, or King Charles, or that stuff. But that just kind of comes in. This is trying to tell me. Just clear my mind a second. They show me. It's funny. They show me green clay. I wonder if that's a metaphor of really trying to manipulate the economy. Because green's the color of money, also. I think there might be like another weather event. I don't know if that's in the States also. That may relate to more like tornadoes or wind. Big time for wind. This makes me feel wind. Air, swords is air, wind. I'm just seeing if there's anything else. What do you guys say? Lots of people receiving heart openings. Yeah, this is true. This is very heart centered. That Venus 6 and the cups are very much about that. Archangel Michael. Well, that would be appropriate. Yeah, I could see why, because Archangel Michael holds the sword, right? The sword of truth and strength and justice. Good interpretation. Thank you so much for that. So that's the Soylent Green. Thank you. Yeah, all right. Yeah, so what else? I'm just going back to some of your comments. This looks like an interesting one. Hi, Laura, again. I think all this energy blasts our way. We already covered that one. Well, it's worth repeating, right? All right. So Soylent Green, yes. Hello, peace. Peace in 33. Yeah, so let me go into other tools. I mean, we've been talking about a lot of stuff. I think for us, the idea again is to get grounded. Get ready. There's likely to be a lot of either news or events that are going on the next couple of weeks that are going to be very powerful changers or potential changers going on. I think as far as like earthquakes. I mean, this could be an eruption too, but I think as far as earthquakes and solar weather here on Earth, I think will be at least somewhat okay this week. I think the week after is going to be more volatile in that area. Um, but I think with the atmospheric stuff, it's going to be very wild. And of course, we have one of the most powerful storms of the year, maybe even the decade, brewing in the Caribbean. So that's not too shocking. Why am I seeing China? There may be something about China, some news around China. I really feel like there's a lot of military activity going on there, but we don't see that on the news. And a lot of things that I've said in psychic forecasts that appear to not verify. Probably some of them probably did, but we just don't hear about it in the news. So in any regards, I've got my Native American cards here too, tarot. So I'm going to pull a card here also. See where that goes. 33, we're up to 35. 30, a lot of threes. 33 in chat, 36K subs, 39 minutes in. A lot of 369 energy. Two of vessels, which is like the Two of Cups, which is union. This could be about, we may see some alliances forming in the world. Because, there's definitely, war is, to me, a lot of it's orchestrated. Oh, yeah, there's a big cyber attack, right, on Amazon recently. More of that coming with the cyber attack, because that's where a lot of war is waged, is on the cyber battlefield. I almost feel, this card makes me feel like reuniting. I almost feel like this will be a good week for us and our community to connect with old friends or family members we may not have spoken to for a while or seen. And this may be a good time for mending like old wounds. So I think that one of the messages here is to either, forgive or let go if that's appropriate. I don't know who Gerald is, but they just popped the name Gerald in my mind. But in any event, it's like a funny Pink Floyd song also about a mouse, about naming the mouse Gerald. but in any event, that's not where I was going with that. And there's also, looks like there's a baby there too. Looks like that's a little one in the middle. In the middle of the couple. That could be the birth of ideas, growth, expansion, stuff like that. Maybe it's here Gerald saying hi, Peggy. I know he went by Gerald, right? Not Jerry. So that might make sense. You never know. The veils are thin. And we're going to do Mediumship Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern time here in the Medium channel. All free. It's on the Medium channel. Speaking of which, that's Halloween night. Yeah. So I think that's part of the message also. And I think that as I'm talking, they're just saying, we need to understand, who we're aligned to now, who's with us, who's not with us. Because as time goes on, as things happen, who knows? But it looks like we're going in the direction of maybe going off grid or there being a split in society. Yeah, that's another meaning. It's another aspect of the number 2, a split. And we see that in different ways. Yeah, if you're more Christian leaning, well, your 3-eye atlas has been likened to the oh God, what's it called? The rapture. I mean, it'd be interesting. It's kind of stepping way out on a limb back, a few months ago. I did a short suggesting that maybe something would happen where 3-eye atlas would become the new Christmas star, which is from a geophysicist or an astrophysicist perspective is literally impossible, mind you. But that's beside the point. It would be a miracle, right? Like, say, somehow the sun energized that object enough that big dusty coma plasma lit up at the right time. But I've seen in other creators talk about, is this kind of like the rapture? So what happens in the rapture? That isn't it like with when God leads his children to heaven that have been righteous, where the other ones get left on earth or something like that? But then in like Dolores Cannon and others' work, they talk about a reality split where some go on the higher timeline, some go on the lower timeline. So in my mind, they're describing the same phenomena. And I think this is the time of the split now. So I think this is really important that we do keep working on our spiritual growth so that we can be part of that higher timeline. And if and when it happens, we wouldn't even know it because it would just seem normal. Time is a funny thing. We don't really understand how it happens. I think time moves backwards, honestly. I think that we're the ones that are moving, that our reality is moving and the time's actually going backwards. Just like it looks like the sun goes east to west, right? But that's not really what's happening. It's the earth rotating west to east in the opposite direction, creating that illusion of the movement of the sun. So, but then time is, everything's fractal. So what's happening on the micro is happening on the macro. And, time is just a measure of that, or a way of understanding from a human perspective how energy is moving and how energy is changing. So we wouldn't even know, is the point being. So the idea is for us to keep raising our vibration, helping others to awaken in this time of mass awakening. And in our reality, in our universes, we'll see an ascension, and we'll see things start to improve on planet Earth. And those of us that are younger may even be able to be part of like the new Earth, when the governments change and there's more unity and spiritual values are honored, and famine is ended, war is ended, at least virtually. So but I think part of the context of this is, be ready for the possibility that if society keeps getting more crazy and expects everybody to interface with technology and all that stuff, and to submit to AI surveillance and all that, and feel like our ability to grow in a human perspective is being compromised, a lot of people may go off grid, and we wind up having a separate society for a while until things balance out. We'll see how it all unfolds. It's changing every day, but that's the direction we're going in. So the idea is we want everybody to wake up, right? So that we don't have to go through such a experience. We don't have to go on with a full-on global World War III. You could argue it's already happening, but it, it's not like nations are nuking each other. Like it's not that bad. And of course, we have help from our interdimensional extraterrestrial brethren. So I've got the all right. I need to keep mindful of my time too a little bit. So here's the yeah, this is really, but I have tea. Maybe that'll help. Round and center. I'm actually gonna go out and do some hiking a little bit later. So that'll help me. All right, so let me clear my mind. I'm seeing something small, almost like a squirrel or a chipmunk. There's no chipmunks in these cards, but squirrels represent gatherings, represents planning for the future. And what do we got? Well, we got, I wasn't too far. We got the beaver, busy as a beaver, right? That's the hard worker, building the dams and all that. Number 22, so that's a master number. And it's Uranus guided, so that's often about evolution, revolution. Beavers also plan, but beavers, besides humans, are one of the only species that actually physically alter their own environments. I mean, ants do that too to some degree. I guess it's a matter of degrees if you think about it. A lot of animals do that, but beavers to a higher level. And so, this is a way of altering our own like environment, maybe starting with our internal environment. And so this one's new. We haven't gotten beaver yet. This is the first time in 4 years we've gotten this one. And I don't know what the book says. I'm going to check that out. Builder. Well, that makes sense, right? Builder. That's the builder. The beaver is the doer in the animal kingdom. All right, it's pretty much what we know. It's akin to water and earth, so it's female. If it's akin to water and earth, or yin energy or female energy, it incorporates a strong sense of family and home, and that's like the two of pentacles. It's like, even if if you're not like physically with who you consider family, or if you had some falling out with family members, if they're crazy, they're crazy. What's discernment is important, but if in your discernment, if it's not like a lost cause, I think this is a call to connect with our communities, connect with our families, cause I don't think in 2025, probably not even in 2026, but beyond that, it's very uncertain. We may need to rely on each other and live as our forebears did, where we were not just community for the sake of family or convenience. It's for survival, basically. That's how humans are. So if you were to look at the dams and block woodland streams, you would find several entrances and exits in the building its home. Beaver always leaves itself many alternative escape routes. So that's worth noting also. This practice is a lesson to all of us not to paint ourselves into corners. If we eliminate our alternatives, we dam the flow of experience in our lives. A doer is characterized by industriousness, and Beaver knows that limitation cancels productivity. That's a powerful message for this time. Anyway, what are you guys saying? Hello, Janice Hennessy. Welcome. Highton Pulaski. Yes, is that in Western New York? Oh, wow. Where's Pulaski? I've heard of that. Salmon are running, but the water, sound therapy, crisp, clean air, getting out of the pain. Yeah, it's a crisp day here in the Catskills. It's in the 40s, pretty cloudy. Colors are past peak, but past peak is better than it was during the peak, because most of it was die off this year because of the dry summer. But now that the strong and sturdy trees are changing, we're getting a late show. It's actually quite beautiful now. And I thought the whole fall was going to be a bust. Hey, Victor, welcome. Yeah, you missed a lot today, a lot. Oh, by the way, I just dropped a video yesterday, which I think is the best video I've done in the 5 years. 5 years that the Medium channel's been here. 2020 we started. It's a short video, like 9+ minutes, and it's really about like the biggest conspiracy of them all that people generally don't talk about. And I got a huge long comment stream. It didn't really break the algorithm or anything. I think it got 1,000 views maybe. But then again, a video like that's not, it's for us. It's not one of those videos that's meant to be to reach new people. Those are more the psychic forecasts, the monthly forecasts. Those are the ones that I do to try to expand the channel. The other ones that I do are for us, are for our community. So if you haven't seen that, it should be the first one up on the channel. It's a short video. I think you'll really resonate with that one. So anyway, let's build a better tomorrow. Let's take that beaver medicine. And how do we build a better tomorrow? By building a better now. So the higher you can make your resonance in the now moment, that's going to make your past better, even if it's just through your association or your attitude about it. But energetically makes it better, and it helps to build a better tomorrow, because all time's happening now. And that's the nature of fractalness in this universe. That all time is now. What happened inside of an atom is the exact same process that happens in the universe at large, just scaled very, very differently. So time is it. All right, let's do a couple more. I want to see what the Isis Oracle is saying. I have a feeling some of the energies from ancient Egypt, even if you can get any information from pre-Pharaoh Egypt, that from my my studies and meditation was very Atlantean in nature, very more almost matriarchal, but definitely not patriarchal in its nature. Very much enlightened, and understanding, like using these tools. Like we'll be talking more about AI, because there's some X factor with AI that's beyond what human technology, at least in my educated opinion, as well as my intuition, is saying. That's probably tapped into some kind of higher, maybe even alien technology. But we got Miracle of Isis as our card here, and miraculous healing of the goddess. So I think this is a time of healing, and it's the more we can get in the present now moment, and the more we can make ourselves grateful, happy, whole, and complete, feeling that way in the now, the more we energize our internal healing abilities, because we have a healing ability that's beyond the physical healing. It's a higher level that's sort of locked up in our inactive, or our, I don't like the word dormant DNA, because I don't believe that our DNA is dormant. I just believe it's there's another word I can't think of right now, but inactive. It's not even inactive, but whatever the case, since I can't think of the word, once that gets activated, it's a higher healing level. That's how somebody like Wim Hof can, hike to the top of Mount Everest in shorts with no oxygen, basically. But he's been able to tap into that higher resonance of healing that we all have. And people have, healed from cancer, MS, all kinds of things by tapping into these higher healing potentials. So we all have that ability. So anyway, it looks like she's riding on, it almost looks like some kind of a warrior. Maybe that's Osiris, I don't know, but she's also riding on some kind of that. So oh, you live in Oswego. Beautiful, beautiful country. I think the way the weather patterns are setting up, Oswego and the Tug Hill is going to have very generous snows this winter for all the snowmobilers up there. So let's do. Always like to do our frequency of the week. So let's do that, and then let's do the process and really get together and really help nature, help spirit, help the people of Jamaica and neighboring nations from this record storm that is probably reaching or at Category 5 status. And it was only a tropical storm yesterday. Okay. Hopefully the next week or two I'll have some news on the new website and the free courses that are coming out. Well, one free course, two free meditations that are coming out. So anyway, Merkaba. Okay, so let's do some Merkaba. Maybe that we'll piggyback off this card and do a little bit of Merkaba activation as part of our process today. So the frequency of Merkaba supports our ability to use our consciousness to traverse into other layers of reality and dimensions. It activates our access to our Akashic inheritance as well, merging the totality of our experiences into our present to serve our higher purpose. So that's the Merkaba. Basically, it's 3 by 3 by 3 by 3, so it's got that 369 energy in it. There's actually, I think there's actually 8 active Merkaba points. Is it 8? But then there's 9 would be the central point of that. So that would be the 369 there also. And it's the ascension light vehicles. It's the star tetrahedron, or 2 3-sided pyramids, one facing up, one facing down, basically. Love that Merkaba. So let's do a little activation, and we'll do a little bit of voice channeling, a little bit of voice activation also. So Merkaba to ride. We are going to ride that Merkaba today. and quick angel message, and then we're going to ride the Merkaba. Adriana, this is one of Doreen Virtue's decks. I'm leading you inwards. I'm leading you inward. Oh, towards. I'm leading you toward the answer to your prayers. Please listen to and follow the steps I'm communicating through your intuition, thoughts, and dreams. So that's a nice energy, a nice message to have. Thanks for sharing this, Bob. Have patience, silence, resourcefulness, and intuition. Very good. Yeah, we see bobcats from time to time. It's not that long ago I saw a bobcat around here. Understand we're already and always connected. Just when we miss the comments and chat. Yeah. I've been missing a lot of them. Oh, you're already tingling. Very good. That means they're probably already here. Want me to get started? Very good. I know you're getting a lot of nice comments here. Lots of good comments that I haven't been able to have that. Yeah, we have been getting more mountain lion sightings also. And I was hiking up by Woodland Valley the other day. Up the trail to Giant Ledge for anybody that's in the Catskills and knows the area. You can get a stellar views of Cornell and Wittenberg from there, and you can see Slide Mound too. A little bit off in the distance from there also. But some bigger cat. I saw some bigger cat. It might have been just a large bobcat, but I saw something like that. We definitely have mountain lions and all kinds of things here in the Catskills. So anyway, are we ready? Let's do our process. We'll do a little Merkaba activation, about a 10-minute or so process. And once we get it into that energetics, then we can work with, because we have the ability to influence weather. Like the Native Americans, I have a story that I've shared before that I heard on a Greg Braden video also. I love Greg Braden too, but it's almost like I was watching that saying, were you with me at the time? Because it's like the exact same thing. And this is back, I was hiking with my friend Bob Vetter in Oklahoma, and he had a friend who's a native elder. I think he's a pure blood Pawnee, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know what his native name was, but he's Bob Fields. So I was hiking with two Bobs, basically, Bob and Bob. And we're going in this area near Oklahoma City that's wooded, one of the only wooded areas in central Oklahoma, I might add. It's all farms there. And then at one point he stopped and just when we pray for rain, it always rains. And then he was explaining that it's not that we're asking the creator to make it rain, because then we're just supporting the lack of rain, but rather we're feeling the rain hitting our skin. We're giving gratitude for the rain that's already falling, and it already rains. And I've so many times once or twice it could be a coincidence, but hundreds of times, so many times of just influencing my local weather just by tuning in. It's nothing I'd say is supernatural. I think it's very natural. We just have lost touch in how to do that, but it's because we're connected anyway. But our social conditioning and the fact that we're separated from who we are, spirit, God, or source, through social conditioning, separates from that natural connection we have. So when we reconnect and we start to feel energy, we start to feel the trees, we start to feel nature, that's when we influence it. We're doing it already, but we start to consciously do it, and it becomes more powerful. So let's see if we can apply that and affect some of the steering mechanisms around Hurricane Melissa as part of this work. So let's get nice and relaxed. You just tune into your breathing for a moment. Inhaling love and light of the universe. Drawing that in from all around, circulating that in your heart. Exhaling, releasing any stress or stuck energies. I'm seeing TPs now. I think my native guides are with us too. And show me a dog. Dogs represent loyalty, companionship, right? Inhaling love and light, opening, circulating that around, exhaling, releasing any stuck energy, stress, worries. And as always, what we always do, feel your shoulders relaxing now. Yeah, they're here because they want me to tell you, the weight on your shoulders is somebody else's weight that you've taken on. It's not your weight. Oh, they show me Archangel Gabriel too, blowing the horn. We're in a real juncture of awakening, folks. That's what they're telling me right now. It's like, it's real. It's not lip service or conjecture. I mean, it never was lip service. 4 or 5 years ago, it was more projection. It's real now. So relaxing your shoulders, all the weight, that's which is other people's weight, let that go. You don't need that crap. Feeling your chin relaxing and your forehead. You relax shoulders, chin, and forehead. And then just start to feel the nice wave of relaxation settling over you. We are there. We are relaxed, ready to transmit. Yes, we are ready to transmit. Are you ready to receive? Yes, you are, because you've been born ready to receive. You were born to awaken. You were born in this lifetime to receive. You were born to transcend. You were born to experience, and you were born to make a difference in not only your physical world, but in your energetic universe, in the universe at large, into that place that you came from, where you decided or chose to come into the matrix reality in order to make a difference on a higher and grander level or scale, because the matrix, or your physical universe that many see as separate or see as a creation, a computer program or Maya or illusion, it's really not that. That's just a way of seeing things. But what it is, it's a manifestation, a projection of what really is, or what truly is, on a higher level of consciousness that you are starting to appreciate more, which is why your earth is shaking. Yes, you're in the shaking. Oh God, sorry, went out of the channel for a second. I was thinking about what shaking is that. I think it's not the mind, the Hopi prophecies, the third shaking. Thank you. We did not go anywhere. The channel may go in and out, but we remain steady with you, by your side, and around you always. No, you are love. You came from love. You're here to experience love. And through that, you experience growth. The more you approach the challenges of your world and the world at large around you with love, the more you learn the lesson and grow. Simple as that. Yes, it is that simple. The programming on humans is very, very complicated, but it's that simple. Everything's energy, and all energy came from love. Everything came from love. Everything in your world was an idea before it became physical reality. Just like your physical reality came from the idea or projection of the universal field. And you can better access that universal field through the sacred geometry. So we will work with you in a Merkaba activation at this time. So imagine the star tetrahedron, the Merkaba, spinning in opposite directions, top spinning one way, bottom the other. Whatever your spirit or higher self chooses, the direction will be. And just start to feel As that spins faster, you start to become not disconnected from your body, but expansive thereof. This will assist you in seeing into the dark, so to speak, into the unknown, the unconscious, the spirit world, as this time in your earth cycles where the veils between the worlds get thinner. As your earth orbits the sun, it's not just a static, the earth's going around the sun, the same as it ever was, because it enters various portals as the earth circles on this annual trek around your sun. It goes to areas of high energy, areas of low energy, areas where we would describe as red energy, other areas that we describe as blue energies, and science is just beginning to understand this dynamic. And yes, what we are trying to say is that there is a scientific reason that the veils are thin, overlapping your Scorpio season that extends well into December, by the way. For from the seasonal perspective, you're in Scorpio season, but from the astronomical perspective, you're still in the sign of Libra, sidereal. Oh, let that Merkaba spin faster and faster, wider and wider, as you blend more with the collective fields and find your place, find your space within the collective energies. So as you travel in your ascension light vehicle, it's not like you're physically traveling anywhere. You're actually manifesting wherever it is that you wish to be. So say, travel with your Merkaba to the moon, to remote view the moon. Well, you're not traveling, you're actually manifesting the connection of being on the moon. It's similar to folding space, as it were, or traveling through wormholes in a sense. Relax, breathe, allow. We are going to work with you to enhance that connection and to charge up your ascension light vehicle, raising the frequencies. For the few of you that have not worked with us yet, these are tones we are able to transmit through the channel as much as he's able to open his throat center, that is, and his chakra fields, to allow the purity of sound and light to transmit through him, as it were, of interdimensional sequencing or origin, as it were. So the sequencing of the sounds and the light language is what activates your fields. So relax and breathe. That Merkaba spin faster and faster. relax, breathe. You are in the storm, the cosmic storm, as it were. Storms wash away, cleanse, blow things down, make way for new growth. This is where you are at this time. The physical phenomena, like the interstellar being of light and purpose, known as the I Atlas to you, and the other phenomena are born out of these collective shifts that are happening within the fields of light and energies. And you are part of that, and it is part of you. All connected to the vibration of love. This is why many of you are feeling dizzy, different. We recommend in the AM to do some breath work, yoga, poses, or similar activities to help the ground and balance and allow your vibration to be more fluid and elastic. There's the tension and the resistance primarily, as well as the upgrades themselves. It causes the changes in how you're feeling, changes in consciousness, and changes in viewpoints, as it were, or assemblage point from which you perceive your world and your universe from. It's all changing and shifting, but it's upgrading. It's coming back to what you've always known. Feel those Merkaba fields getting very strong. Allows you to travel. Your ascension light vehicle travels deeper into you, basically, to help you to know you, help you to reconnect with you. We should work with you to help those on your planet that are dealing with a lot of the fallout, as it were, of the changes within the atmosphere and geology born from the shifts of the collective fields, the energetic fields, manifested through the cosmos, through the space weather, and then solidified in the physical and on your physical planet. We shall visualize together a big storm, or storms. There's not just one. Near Jamaica, Hispaniola. We will work with you energetically for prayers, the best possible outcomes. How to work with the storm to balance the energy so it does not have to get so big and strong, to steer it in the way to reduce the suffering as much as it's possible that we are allowed to do at this time. We are the master teachers. We are interdimensional, but we work with the extraterrestrials, interdimensional beings, and inner earth beings. We must not interfere, but we can guide and influence when appropriate. For it's through your intention that puts our energy into action for you. And so I'm gentle, missing most of the land, most of the population, as much as is possible. The physical earth must balance out and express. Cleansings must happen. And we put our prayers and intentions to ease suffering through this and other events on your planet, including the geopolitical strifing, the warring. the growing pains of humanity. The dear ones understand that everything, even suffering, is in a sense an illusion. And your species has been suffering dearly, dearly for many thousands of years. This explosion of energy and activity is designed to stop that cycle, to break that cycle. We will send energies, intensify the energies to effectively help to steer and reduce the storms. We shall focus where it's needed the most, in the Caribbean islands. Prayers to help through the power of love those affected by this atmospheric event that is taking place and other events. So you're starting to bring the energies down now. Start to deepen your breath, ground and center. When you're ready, open your eyes. So I believe the next live stream is Wednesday for the November psychic forecast. And something else I was going to say. Oh boy. Yeah, let's, I'm going to further ground myself in a little while. Something about tigers at Winnie the Pooh. This wonderful thing about tigers is I'm the only one. Woohoo! What else about tigers? Their tops are made out of rubber. Their bottom made out of spring. They bouncy, flouncy, bouncy, fun. Yes. There you go. All right. So I've been missing a pretty interesting conversation here. Thank you, everybody. You're welcome. Yeah, that was a good one. Not sure what else to say. Oh yeah, tomorrow night, those of you that are in Spirit Mind family, we're going to do our live video, and it's Life with Spirit month. So we'll be discussing different ways of enhancing our energies so that we can be more aligned with our spirit loved ones and guides and the ascended ones, the angels, stuff like that. So that's been the theme of the month. If you're not in Spirit Mind family, want to join our inner core community, that's where we go deeper into these transmissions and really help to accelerate in a safe and effective manner our process of ascension at this time of mass ascension. So that's really our inner core community. I encourage everybody that's likes what we do here, that likes the work that we do, to join us there. And of course, here on the Medium channel, that's our community. Our job is to assist in the awakening process. So that's what we do here through our live streams and our videos, and even our short form videos. Yeah, that's the ultimate goal. So that's what we're doing. Now, I'm not an enlightened master. I'm a student like yourselves, but I've had a lot of experience in the 40 plus years I've been on my spiritual path. And through me, higher beings can help to assist you. So this is what we do here in the Medium channel. If you're new and you like it, please subscribe, share with others that may be aligned to this work, because we are in the process of building community as our other teachers and other people. So we're building it, and hopefully we'll be able to make a difference and help our during this time of mass human evolution and awakening, be able to help that happen in a smooth and effective way. And I've been incorporating more and more of space weather. Being a meteorologist, also I incorporate some of my science, because science is, after all, on the process of proving what the spiritual masters have been telling us all along. So that's what we're about. Thank you, everybody. And we will see you at the next video. Have a great Sunday.